What is up, everybody? Sven Diesel here. We're going to be tying up the Blob Creeper Leech. Pretty much it's a leech. We're going to put a blob on it, or egg, depending on who you're talking to, and then we're going to use the Creeper Chenille. So we've got an Ahrex TP610 size 2 here in the vise, and we're going to go ahead and get started with some Semperfli classic wax thread in a 8/0 in black. And I'm going to start this thread right here behind the eye and work my way down the shank of this hook with some touching wraps. A little trick is to hold your thread at an angle away from the hook shank. That way, as I'm wrapping this, it's just kind of sliding those wraps right into each other. You can spend as much time as you want and make it look a lot prettier than I am, but this is going to be covered up by some body material, so you want to go almost to the bend of the hook, right there, about even with the barb. We'll trim out our tag end, and then of course we're going to be starting this fly using the Creeper Chenille by F&F. This comes in a bunch of different colors. This is black that we're going to be using, and I'm just going to take the one end and leave the rest in the bag, and I'm just going to set that bag right here on my bench right next to me. I'm going to prep this by pulling off some of this the core. It's a kind of an egg-like material, exposing the center cord, and we'll tie that in a little bit into the bend, and then I'll of course make sure that's nice and secure. And then this is what we're going to do, is we're going to make our tail doubling it over itself. So I'm going to measure it, cut it about a thumb's length longer than I need it. That way we have something to grip onto, and then we're going to twist this up. I like to do it clockwise, and so I'm just going to grab it and twist it. You want to make sure you pull it away from the hook so that it's straight, otherwise it could basically furl up on itself or twist up on itself, which is how we're going to make the tail. And so having a little bit of tension but not enough to rip it out is key. And twist it up until you think you've twisted enough, and then twist it a little bit more. I'm going to measure that, and then I'm going to take my left hand now and twist it onto each other. So this is basically counterclockwise, so make sure you go the opposite direction. If you try to go clockwise, it's not going to really work as well. And then I'll go ahead and tie that off without releasing that other end, and then that material is now twisted onto itself. The common term would be furling, and then we'll go ahead and secure that. Make sure it's nice and tight. We're going to put a little super glue on there, but there we go. There's our creeper tail. It's got a little bit of movement. When it gets wet, it moves a little bit more, but it's going to be nice and durable. And now we're going to do the same thing again. I wish I could figure out a way to furl it or make this tail and then not have to tie this in again, but it just makes it so much easier than having to deal with a twisted tail. And so we'll tie that in and then advance our thread up to not quite the eye. We want to leave enough room for the blob, or I think it's a egg or big power bait clump, as the lady called it at a reservoir. I was fishing one of these the other last fall, so we're going to do a half hitch, or I like to do a 3-turn whip finish there, and we'll get this thread out of our way. And then I like to always, on any leech or bugger or material that could slide up and down the hook shank, I like to lay down just a little bit of super glue just to bond that tail in, and then of course bond our thread to our hook shank. This Z-cement works really well. It soaks in, and I like the brush applicator. So now we're just going to go ahead and use our rotary function and spin this around the vise, or around the hook shank, excuse me. If you don't have a rotary vise, you can go ahead and wrap it around a bunch of times manually, and then just make sure you end about where you did your half hitch or whip finish, and then we'll go ahead and go behind this material to close it off, and then I'll do a couple wraps in front, go behind, and then of course a wrap up and over, and then that is now trapped in there. And we're going to lay down a few more thread wraps, but I just want to see where it's at, so I'm going to lift it up here, kind of get it out of my way, and then make sure not to cut your thread, and I'll trim that out. And if you got any of these legs that are really kind of bugging you, just pull them out. If your fly comes undone, you didn't secure the chenille properly, so just go ahead and rewrap it, grab some hackle pliers if needed. And then I'm just going to clean this up. It helps to have a clean head here. You can see I've got a little clump there, so instead of undoing it and trying to trim it out, I'm just going to basically make a ramp, almost similar to like when you're doing a stimulator head. And that way when we're wrapping this jelly material, it's going to have something smooth to wrap down, and it makes it a lot easier. So this stuff comes in a bunch of different colors. I'll be straight honest, I have not fished this fly in this particular combo yet. I fished a lot of the blobs. I fished a lot of leeches using this creeper, and I am so excited for this little combo right here. So I've already tied up a bunch of different hot heads, as I'd call it, but we're going to go ahead and expose the core again and tie this in right here all the way up to where you ended that creeper chenille. And then I'm going to lay down a nice little thread base. Like I said, the cleaner it is, the easier it is for this next step. And then I'll go ahead and do a whip finish here if you want, or a half hitch, whichever easiest, and get our thread out of the way. Now this stuff twists up really, it's kind of finicky to work with. I'm going to lay down a little bit of super glue just to aid in this. That's kind of the risk factor, because once it's secure, it's kind of, that's potential hazard right there. But as you're wrapping this around the thread base we laid here, I like to use my finger here to kind of cause those fibers to go back. Now if you're doing this by hand, you're going to have to keep continually stroking these back and stroking them back, but I'm just using my finger here. As I spin the vise, it is basically causing all those fibers to go back, and then I'm going to back it off. I don't want to crowd the eye too much, and then we'll go ahead and get our thread up and through here, and being careful, this is a potential hazard as well. You can easily tie all these fibers and basically cover your eye, and so I'm going to pull as many of them back as I can. If you need to moisten your fingers, you can do that. I'm going to do the same thing we did with the creeper chenille. I'm going to do 2 wraps behind and 2 wraps in front, and that way it's nice and trapped. And then once we get it nice and secure, I'm going to trim it out. Be careful not to let your thread slip off at this point, because then you'd lose that and you'd have to start over again, and you super glued it, so that's why it's a risk factor. Now just kind of moisten your fingers a little bit and stroke as many of those fibers back as you can, and then we're just going to build up a little thread head here. If you're using a weighted version of this where you put like a bead on or something, then this would be a little bit easier, because you just do a whip finish behind the bead and you'd be done. But I like to fish a lot of these leeches weightless, and so we're going to build up a thread head here, and it's a good recommendation for me because I fish from the shore with floating lines, so I like to have them weighted and unweighted. And so we'll go ahead and do that 3-turn whip finish and trim out our thread, and you'd think we're done, but a little tool I like to have here right next to my workbench is this cautery tool. And that way we can get any of these fibers that are kind of potentially in the way of the eye out of the way, because we're going to put a little bit of UV resin, and sometimes that UV resin could potentially walk across these fibers and crowd or cover our eye, and then we'll be sitting there on the lake in the wind and our hands are frozen, and where it's just a potential fun time to try and get it on. So I just like to clean those fibers out before I do this UV resin. For the UV resin, I'm using this is a Solarez bone dry, and all I do is I just pull those fibers back and just apply a little bit to each side. I try to avoid doing it on the top or the bottom, because then you risk covering up that eye. And with this being so thin, I'm not, this has happened to me. I've covered it and not known it, and then I'm on the water fishing, and it's a miserable experience. So go ahead and just make sure that you start with the sides, and then on this last layer I do 2 coats. I just come around and just kind of make sure I've gotten all of that thread nice and coated, but definitely lay it heavier on the sides than on the top and the bottom. And then we'll go ahead and cure that up now, and that's pretty much the Blob creeper leech. So that's the materials we're using. You can see how that 2-tone jelly, the fire prawn in the yellow, has a really, I don't know. I was next to a lady and she was crushing it on orange power bait, so this is the closest thing I can do that's a fly. And so we'll go ahead and, I'm sure there's other options, but that's where kind of this idea came from, was we fished a lot of, when we found out we also had the fish hitting our orange indicators, so we thought the orange was kind of crucial. So we'll see how these go this year, and tie some up in a few different colors and varieties. But I appreciate you guys for watching, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below, and you can also get a hold of me on other social medias through direct message. But appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching.